So in the last part 4, I had gone down to the police station to report everything that had happened. And someone followed me back to the campsite that I had made with my camper. The next day, I was outside my camper and a man approached me. He parked his truck across the road from where I was parked, and he was watching me. He was sitting in a chair just like facing my camp, like watching me. And then he walked over and he approached me and he asked my name, and I told him. I don't know why I told him my full name, but I did. And he just kind of stared at me. And I was like, okay. And I went for a walk. And when I came back, he was walking out from behind my camper and my door was open. And I was like, I guess I didn't lock my door. Anyway, so my camper had a pop out. And so it's like a tent on the side. And that's where I slept. And that night, I was stabbed. I was stabbed right here in my arm with something contaminated with MRSA. And I didn't know at first. I just thought I was stabbed. And then it started to swell over the next 2 days. And I ended up going to the hospital. And they almost had to cut off my arm. And I thought I was going to die. They said I wasn't going to die, but I thought I was going to die. They had to dig out 6 inches of meat. And I was just there for 10 days, pretty much sedated on antibiotics, really strong, vancomycin, a bunch of different antibiotics for MRSA. It's very serious. It was spreading too. It was spreading into my breast tissue. So that was terrifying and traumatizing. And after 10 days, they released me and they showed me how to clean my wound myself. I had to stuff 6 inches, a 6-inch length like tunnel was cut out of my arm, and I had to stuff it and clean it every single day by myself. And I took all the supplies and everything, and I got in my camper and I fucking left. I drove to Montana, and I was terrified the whole time. No matter where I went, I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop and stay for more than a day. I was terrified. And I wrote everything down in a journal in real time. I made videos. I have hundreds of videos of everything that was going on. It's much deeper than what I'm explaining here online because I don't want to get into all of that right now. I'll write a book or something. But it was very, very rough. And when I got to Montana, I called the police again and I made another police report, and I have that whole conversation recorded as well. And they were like, well, there's not really much we can do. And so eventually I made my way back. I was only gone probably a month. And when I had my devices taken from me, they'd also taken my passport, my ID, and my debit cards and everything. So I came back. I applied, actually after I got stabbed, but before I left, I went to a post office and applied for a new passport, and I got my new ID, and then I left. And so when I came back, my shit was ready, and I went back to my parents' house, and I stayed there for a few months, just like preparing. And then I sold everything. I sold my truck and camper and everything. And then I got everything ready for my cat to go with me. And then on December 3rd, I was scheduled to leave December 5th to go to Mexico. I just decided to move to Mexico. I was fucking done. And my cat died on December 2nd. And then I left on December 5th. And I flew to Mexico. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what was going to happen. I was just praying every day that my friend's case was being investigated. APS never talked to me again. They never asked for more information. When I emailed him, asked him what was going on, they didn't respond. They told me it was none of my business because I'm not the alleged victim. The police never called me back. I couldn't get anyone to do anything. And I needed to heal. I needed to recover. So I flew to Mexico and I rented an Airbnb and I just traveled around the Yucatan Peninsula. And then I started to make my way south.